How's it been? I'm not going to say it's a break, but a break from fixtures then. How's it been these last 3.5, 4 weeks?
I think the boys have come back. We obviously had some downtime, which was good to just mentally refresh and physically get a few back and see where we are. Obviously, there's a thing called the Six Nations that comes along and also, has a bit of an influence. But yeah, no, I think it came at a good time for us. We're excited about getting back at it, and the boys have trained well and with lots of effort and enthusiasm. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and obvious, I suppose, but pick up where you left off. A couple of really encouraging wins in Europe, and if you can carry on that form now, that's kind of probably the key message.
Yeah, I think that sort of middle block from the end of Europe, the first block, and then obviously Benetton, Christmas derbies, and New Year's derbies, and then back into Europe. To only fall short against Montpellier away, which was a harrowing experience, to be fair. But to perform like we did and create some momentum. We've talked about the momentum in our team, and to make our home form something to be respected. I see that the Ulster coach mentioned it yesterday around us playing at home. The fact of the fact. So to enjoy that people are talking about you in that way is a compliment. So yeah, we're looking to obviously continue momentum, but we know that any opposition is tough at any time of year, and you see that in the results. Look at the closest to the table, and we'll need to be good, and hopefully that they're not.
Yeah, absolutely. Closest in the table. They've just got one victory more than you this campaign. These fixtures, I guess, are the types of fixtures that you kind of have to win if you want to finish in that top 8.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's not it doesn't mean you're going to, but yeah, we know that winning at home is always going to be a good basis for any campaign of any sort. So, we're obviously pleased that we've managed to win away from home as well, and especially the nature of it. But the good thing from our point of view is we need to keep harnessing the effort and energy and the resilience of the team. So we'll keep celebrating that and keep enjoying that, and we understand that we're setting standards for ourselves to perform, not just on outcome but in performance. And if you perform well, you get the best chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Ulster, they're Irish players. The majority of them are back. Coming over, fully loaded. What kind of challenge are you expecting?
Well, you can do the numbers on the squad sizes, so I'm not going to talk about that. We've got what we've got. But as you've heard me say many times, whatever goes out there, I have no doubt of the effort the effort that they'll bring, and the effort that they always bring, and that's part of being an Ospreys player. So you can't be better than what your talent decides, but you can certainly bring energy and effort, and we base a lot of our performances on that, and we will continue to do so. They've got what they've got, we've got what we've got. We'll do our best to find a way.
Absolutely, I'm sure you will. In terms of your squad and players coming back, anybody back from injury?
Yeah, we've got a few back actually. So Toby Fricker, Alex Cuthbert, Don Morris, Justin Tipperick. I left him till the end on purpose just to see if you were listening. I think that Nicky Smith. I think that's it. I think they're the ones that are back, as far as I can remember off the top of my head. So yeah, to have some availability. Obviously important around, Owen Watkin not being around, Adam Beard not being around, George Northbottom around. So like anything, the pinch points are still the same for us, around certain positions. But as I said, we'll make do, and getting the Cheetahs boys in is good because we cover a couple of those positions, even though it's a tough to get them up to speed in a short period of time. But at least we've got boots on the ground, so that's fine.
Yeah, definitely. Morgan Morris, Rhys Davis as well.
No,
those two.
No, not yet. So they'll just miss out. To be fair, they are really close, but it will just come. It would be a risk to them if we continued. Probably a game too soon for them.
Okay, good news though. that you're strengthened, obviously, by return of injuries. Good news this week as well. Keelan Giles, Tom Boulter signing. How happy and pleasing was that to get those deals done?
Yeah, good. Obviously, I appreciate you guys don't know what's been done, and I do. But yeah, there are a number of good re-signings that we've got, which is very pleasing. You need people that can have an influence on the game, and those two boys, Keelan, ball in hand, is very potent, as we know. Very good attack and defensively, actually, reading wise. So to get him in, he's part of that young core group of players that we're building the new Ospreys around, which was really good. And Tommy Botha's point of difference, set piece, scrums, very destructive scrummager. As you've seen in certain games, set piece can win you the games. You think about the Cardiff game, for example, on New Year's Day. So having influence in key positions is really important, and those two guys do that. Yeah,
Tom Booth has been excellent this campaign. He's been excellent since he's been with you. He's Welsh qualified now as well, I think. So
he is.
Inevitably, questions will be asked with Wales needing tight head props. Is he kind of the type of player Wales should be looking at?
Well, I'm going up there in about an hour, so I can ask. So no, we look. That's their choice. I get asked this question a lot. Our guys want to play at the best level they can, and all they can do is keep putting in good performances. And if they're the right player for them, then they get picked. If they're not, they won't. So we're pleased with Tommy. Obviously, as you say, he's improved immeasurably even in my time here. I think he's added different aspects to his game. He's always been a very diligent professional, but he's adding influence outside of set piece as well now. So from that point of view, that's really, really pleasing for us.
Hi Toby, just a couple of questions from me as well. Coming into the game against Ulster now this weekend, you've been playing really well. They've also had a bit mixed form, but they've had close games as well, tight fixtures. Yeah. What do you expect from them this weekend?
Well, I mean, it's the same whenever you play, an Irish province. Really, you get a very committed bunch of people that obviously are highly skilled and extremely physical. So, I think that's almost a given, if you like, and all of the provinces are joined up a lot in relation to certain common things. So, they're always going to be physical, they're always going to be robust, they're always going to make life very difficult for you and aggressive. So, and they all start well. So, they start games well. So, one of the first challenges will be to deal with how they start. So, we're expecting that to be an arm wrestle from the get-go, and it's a good test of when people are fresh, how good you actually are, because you get tested early on physically, and you've got to stand up to that physical entourage, as it were. So I think it's important that we dictate as much as we can. You never can do that completely, but I think the start of this game is really quite important.
You've got so many young players which are kind of coming into their own, but they don't really know what level they're at the moment, I guess. And after the South Africa win as well, expectation will be obviously higher coming into this match. And is it a case now of kind of just pushing it back a bit and just kind of how do you approach it really with your players?
Well, the expectation comes from you guys. It doesn't come from us. We have certain expectations around levels of performance and effort, for sure, and and a mindset and a set of standards that go with it. So we will maintain. And that's been no different from the start. We're trying to develop people to understand what an Ospreys player needs to look like on the pitch, off the pitch, etc. And that's part of the education, outside of the arena, as it were. So I think that, as you say, they've not experienced this too much. So that'll be a good test for the youngsters. But it's good to have, even though we lose experience to Wales, having Justin back what makes a big difference, Nicky Smith back. So your older players, if you like, have got to sort of massage the way a little bit, I think, and just let young players be young players.
And you got a few new additions as well, a couple of cheetahs.
Yeah.
Are they likely to be involved this weekend?
I don't think we've got a choice, to be honest. So yeah, they'll be around. I mean, I don't think that they're all necessarily feature, but we need to obviously get positions covered that we potentially, which we're short on, which is no change. We've been in those positions for a lot of the season. But to get some fresh blood in and some fresh energy is always great. They've been great lads. The weather's a little different for them, to be fair. I think that's been a bit of an eye-opener, but we're excited to have them, and they'll contribute in their time here, and there'll be positives on both sides. So, yeah, that just helps us relieve the pressure a little bit.
Swings and roundabouts. We already heard about Morgan Morris, but you also missing Morgan Morse, I'm guessing, as well. With the Wales under-20s, he's been playing quite well, really. The first game he scored a try. Second game played quite well as well, even though it was a tough game against England. But how big a loss is that really for you at the moment?
Well, he's actually available for us this week.
Well, that's good.
Which is good for us because it comes in. But we're very mindful of him as an individual, and it's a conversation that we are, sort of broaching to try and map the way for him, because in one argument there's a lot of young players that don't get enough game time, and then sometimes if they circumstances or dictate that you get people with a lot of game time. Now he's probably in that bracket, so we need to manage his program and his playing program because he still needs time to develop both physically, technically, and getting exposed to different stimuluses and decisions and situations is really, really important. So we have to help him progress at an appropriate way because if you do all of one thing, you won't get the player at the end that you all expect it to be, because he's a prestigious talent. Everyone can see that physically, but he's still got a lot to work on in order to become that full Wales international, which we believe he has the capability to do.
And also with the under-20s as well, I know a lot of spoke about Morgan Moss, but we also had Rodri Lewis and Freddie Chapman involved. And what do you think about their progress?
Well, they're good examples of where the under-20s program's great in relation to giving them the game time that we can't, because obviously we're in the business of still developing, but also have to perform at a certain level, which would be unfair for them, especially for people like Freddie. As a prop, you need to do your time. So from that point of view, I think that it's a brilliant program to be a part of. That coupled with the Swansea playing program or an equivalent playing program is really important. And as we can then redefine or refine what their development targets are, because you've got real game footage and real game situations for them to basically assess. So, they're almost the opposite side of the playing competitive bit. So it'll be great when they get to the end of this, because then we'll have some real footage out of comfort zone, playing up a little bit, and then that'll allow us to look at where they are and be able to build a program for them.
Which is probably looking for the Ospreys at the moment then.
Yeah.
One more from me really. Keenan Giles signed a new deal. Mm-hmm. A lot of talk on the terraces. Should he really get a call for Wales? There's a couple of injuries. I know you want him for the Ospreys, but he's been playing well. Why not?
Yeah, well, look, I'm a massive Keelan fan, of course. I've just re-signed him. I've signed him twice. He's really important to us, both in him as a human being, but also as a rugby player. He contributes into one of our leadership groups as a very mature young man that speaks very well and also thinks about things well, very mature, which is great. So I think there's added value for Keelan for sure. But bearing in mind, there's a lot of strength in depth in those positions, I think, for Wales. I think it's one of the areas of strength they have. So it's competitive, right? And you need balance to your team. We're pleased that he's staying in Wales, which means he's got a chance to play for Wales as the current rules stand. So we'll start from that and do our best to keep putting him in positions where he can influence games. And then if he can do that, you never know.